Hey, Ray, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing all right. We haven't met, I don't think.
No, we have not.
Nice to meet you.
Same here. Thank you.
So while we wait for Mike, um,
Yes.
why don't why don't you introduce yourself and I'll introduce myself as we go. There
Hey,
we go.
I'm back in the house.
All right.
What's going on, Ray?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing rather well, my brother. Hey, you know something? I try to get your trainer, Roger, on. He's still working on some things, computer stuff. But let
Yes.
me tell you something.
No
I got my boy Mike Samuel with me. Ray, he's off the hook. He's one of the
Yes.
most intelligent people I ever seen. But let me tell you a little something about Ray, y'all. For all you tuning in. First of all, welcome to the Sports Empire Network and the Sports Corner with the Conn Man. I am your host, the Conn Man. Little technical difficulties, but anyway, I'm here with my boy. We go back a long way. This man is incredible, unbelievable, and you're gonna find out a little bit something about him. So let me give the viewers a little something, Ray. He was born on October 6, 1968, and I'm old. And American professional boxer, known by the nickname of Sucre. We all know him as Sucre. He fought for check this out, world titles at both super lightweight and welterweight, winning the International Boxing Union World welterweight title twice in 2003 and 2004. Let's go back to his amateur career. He was born in New Bedford, Mass, where I'm from. He was one of 19 children. He started boxing at the age of 11 and went on to have over, check this out, y'all, 300 amateur bouts. Y'all heard? 300 amateur bouts. Among his achievements as an amateur were 5 New England Golden Gloves titles in 5 different weight classes. Now let's go back to his professional career. As you know, Ray, this is my giving you your roses. Oliveira made his professional debut in July 1990 with a second-round knockout of Joe Goss. He won his first 13 fights before suffering a major decision defeat to Terry Sutherland in March 1992. In December 1993, now here y'all check this out, he challenged Zach Badilla for the WBO World Super Lightweight title, losing on points in a fight that broke records for the number of punches thrown and landed. A fate repeated 4 months later when he challenged for Jake Rodriguez's title. A string of wins led a challenge for Charles Murray's NABF title in April 1997. He won by unanimous decision but lost the title in his first defense 4 months later to Reggie Green. You've done so much. After a win over previously undefeated Harris in 2000 December, that year he regained the NABF Super Lightweight title, being former world champion Vince Phillips by majority decision, but again lost it in his first defense to Ben Tackle. Oliveira moved to welterweight again and challenged for Lorenzo Smith IBU world title in January of 2003. Oliveira took the belt after Smith retired in the 6th round. He lost the title in May that year to Elio Ortiz, but regained it in October 2004. My man has had, I can go on. I can go on. This guy is phenomenal. But I want to get back to you, Ray. I want to let you talk because I got a big mouth, as you know. So I'm going to get back to you. I want to let you know, I know the famous Boys and Girls Club boxing crew with, all the great fighters and all. What got you involved in fighting to begin with?
My mom and dad. My brother Ronaldo Oliveira was a former pro fighter. He used to train with Marvin Hagler, and I love football, and played for Verdi Vets Hall, which everybody knows that, in the boys club. And my mother got sick of me playing football and getting hurt, so they said, "Why don't you try boxing?" Thinking I wouldn't get hurt in that. And I said, "Okay, I'll give it a try," but I really didn't like it. So I went to the boys club, met Mr. V, and loved it. We went on from there.
Now, before I let Mike involve, because Mike is way more intelligent than I am, but let me tell you something. What memories you have of the boys club when you was younger? Because Bucky Vincent, a lot of people who are watching this have no idea.
Just being very disciplined, being challenged by Mr. V, learning everything about, not just boxing, but in life. Being in the boys club was, everyone hears the word old school, and I don't think they know what old school means. Old school means, back in those days, I was telling somebody today at work, I said, all these marks on my legs aren't marks, they're marks from a whip. Mr. V would tell you to do something, and you didn't question it. You just did it. If you questioned it, he had a whip, and it would be on your legs real quicker than quick. And,
Wow.
great memories in the boys club, a lot of memories.
And you have, the Boys and Girls Club have a history. Jimmy Perry, Louis Robos,
Yes.
Andre McCoy, on and on and on and on and on and on and on.
Yeah.
Can you let the people who, now we're seeing all over the country, they don't know about New Bedford. Can you speak about New Bedford Boys and Girls Club, please?
We had great fighters there. I know a lot of people say they had great fighters in their gyms, but in our area, you mentioned a few. There was Snooky Covey, there was Steve Miranda, there was the Duvall brothers, there was Danny Dyers and Joe Dyers, and my two partners, Earl Miranda and Jimmy Dyers and Kevin Duvall. And we go down the line and name a bunch of fighters, and I may forget some names, but you had every style of fighter in that gym, every race and creed. And when I remember going to the gym I started at 11 years old, and you go to the gym and spar. Nowadays, when you go sparring in gyms, which is boxing, practice boxing, you want everybody to be the same weight, same age. Back in our days, Mr. V didn't play that. He just threw you in a ring, and you turn around, you got some 17-year-old. I'm 11 years old. I'm like, I'm going this big 17-year-old, and you didn't question it. You just went in there and did your best.
Yes.
He wanted to see what you had, and if you got your butt beat that day but showed up the next day, he knew he had something in you.
Now, Ray, before we get into your world champion, I want to introduce my guy, Mike Semio, who's my sidekick, my man who knows everything about everything. Mike, what would you like to say about tonight's show?
Well, I did some research, prior to coming on, as far as Ray's career. And one of the things he just mentioned, I'd be very curious to understand what was your preferable style to who you and your opponent, who you'd want to fight. who did you match up best with as far as styles go?
See, the thing about being in the Boys Club was that, like I said, you had every different style in there. And when I went to the Boys Club, a lot of people want to be a certain fighter. Everybody wanted to be like Sugar Ray Leonard. Everybody wanted to be like Marvin Hagler or Tommy Hearns or Roberto Duran. I went in the gym and I had all these styles in the gym, and I would pick a certain person and say, I want Jimmy Perry's sweetness because his name was Sweets. He was sweet in the gym. He moved nice and didn't get hit. I wanted to be Snooky Covey. Snooky Covey was this long arm and this he hit you from any side of the gym. I wanted to be Steve Miranda, where he had these big hands and he would just hit you hard and just back you up. I wanted to get a piece of everyone. So any style that I fought didn't bother me. I adapted to whatever style there was. It's weird that when I boxed pro, I never studied who I was fighting. If I did get a person who I was fighting, I would say, all right, let me watch the first 3 rounds. Because I always figure that everybody does what they're trained to do in the gym for the first 3 rounds. And then as soon as that, when the fight really goes, they just go to their typical style. So yeah. I just wanted to watch the 3 first rounds. And after that, I knew what they were doing and I could adapt to it and either back them up if they couldn't back up or let them come forward and outbox them. No style bothered me really. I adapted to anything.
It's interesting you say that about strategy when, sort of the first 3 rounds are gone and it's kind of every man for themselves at that point. And I think that strategy kind of plays out in all sports where at some point coaching goes, strategy goes, and you're just playing, right? You're playing, you're fighting on instinct. You're playing on instinct. Michael experiences that too, playing basketball as I did, that at some point you got to figure it out. Right. And that's what happens, I think, with great athletes.
Yeah. You always got a plan. And after the 3 rounds or after the first 10 minutes of a basketball game or football game, if it's going to work or not.
Right.
And if it works, you kept doing.
I think a lot of that is really just thinking on your feet and being well trained and being well coached and being prepared, as to your point.
Now,
exactly.
Ray,
I tell my fighters, yes.
No, go ahead. You got this.
I tell my fighters, when they're amateur bout, they go, Coach, what should I do? And I tell them, you do what we practice in the ring, in the gym. Right. If you did everything you had to do in the gym, you already won the fight as an amateur. In the pros, you got to do what you have to do in the gym, but we don't know what we're going to do until after that first 2 or 3 rounds are gone, and let's see if what we worked on works or if we got to adapt to what he's doing.
Now, Ray, this is your show. My honor to you, my roses to you. You done fought world. And what was it like fighting world championship? Let the people know.
It was exciting. I can't name a person from New Bedford that has fought for the world title. So knowing that
I can't either.
I had a city behind me, made me so happy. I always said I really didn't love boxing until I retired, and I realized I did love it. But when I always said that, what I meant was if I could have had a 7 to 5 job, I would have been happy with that. But knowing that I had a whole city, because our city, it was West Coast and West Side, South Side, we didn't like each other. But when I fought, they all came together and they all rooted for me. And there was no fighting, there was no arguing, and that's what made me proud, that I felt like I brought a city together to root for their city boy.
That was an outstanding achievement, and that's kind of why I have you on the show, because you epitomize hard work from the hood, and you achieved so much, and I'm proud of you, and that's why I want you on this show, my show, and I just want to let you know how much I respect and all the things you do. But you already know I got a big mouth. I want you to talk, not me. I want you to talk about your experiences. I want you to talk about troubles you experienced, problems along the way. Who was your toughest fight? Who was your hottest fight? Problems with the boxing world, things of that nature.
There's a lot of problems right now with boxing world. The person I hold dear that helped me out as a pro was Vinny Paz, great friend of mine.
Yeah.
You know, when I fought in in London, England, I fought Ricky Hatton. I fought in front of 80,000 people.
Wow.
And, you know, anybody would, 80,000 people booing you would, you know, be shell-shocked. But I remember fighting with Vinny at the Providence Civic Center with 20,000 people. And he brought me upstairs and we're looking. And he goes, you nervous? I said, no, scared. He goes, you ready? I said, yeah, I'm ready. I said, I want this. He goes, you want this? I said, yeah, but the only thing is I want everyone to boo me. He said, well, why do I want to boo you? I said, because I want them to boo me. And by the third round, they're going to be cheering for me.
That's awesome. Wow.
I love being the underdog.
Wow. Mike, enter. You know my sidekick. Go ahead, Mike.
So, not taking away from anything from the accomplishments, but I'd be very interested to understand and learn about not your best fight, but what was your most important fight from your view?
Most important fight. Probably was Vivian Harris. Why it was Vivian Harris was, a lot of reasons. He had Lou Duver in his corner. It was he was knocking out everybody. He was proclaimed the next Tommy the Hitman Hearns. And so when we made this fight, me and Scott Pemberton, my partner in the ring and gym partner, he said, Ray, we never lied to each other, me and Scott. He goes, I think you should have took this fight. That guy's gonna knock you out. And I said, yeah, he's gonna try, but I'm gonna give my all. When I went into that fight, I just said to myself, a couple of things was that I'm too pretty, I'm too fast, I'm too strong. I did all I had to do in the gym. What's he gonna do? Beat me?
Hey, that's the way you gotta think, man. That's the way you gotta think.
Yeah, life has said they're gonna beat me, and I'm still fighting, and I'm not letting life beat me. So this guy ain't gonna beat me. And I remember, first round, he came out, and everybody knew as soon as you hit me with the right hand or your hardest punch, if you don't knock me out, I'm coming after you. As soon as he threw that right hand, I said, that's all he has. And I just backed him up the whole fight, and I just beat him. And it was supposed to be a tough fight, but honestly, I think it was the most easiest fight. That's when I won that fight. And, I went on after that saying, I belong being in the top 10 in the world.
I definitely think you do. Mike, go ahead, Mike. My man Mike, he always got something to say.
No, the reason why I asked that is because I think, as athletes, when you go through competition, there's certain different things that mean different things to an athlete, right? I think that's, pretty well said. And, the successes are the success and the losses are losses, but there are certain linchpin events in an athlete's life that kind of propel them to another level, right? So you just mentioned that you all of a sudden start realizing you feel that you're in the top 10. So that kind of establishes and creates a level of confidence, right? I think from your end. And so talk to me about what that important fight, that important situation, the confidence that it gives you, what comes from that? What happens after that and in your athletic life And I'd actually be, if you don't mind, I'd be very curious to know and learn about how does that propel you personally, right? How does that sit with you personally as you start to look at your career and you look at your life?
Boxing helped me out to this day, even though I'm not a pro boxer anymore or competing. Boxing is life. And boxing helped me out so much. Without boxing, I mean, I've been to prison. I've been shot. I've been stabbed. I've been in front of the courtroom. Wasn't a good guy. Wasn't supposed to be this world title challenger. And you know, I had downfalls in life, but I always fought to bring myself up, and boxing helped me do that. Boxing helped me so much, and to this day, it still helped me. I'm not a quitter. I wasn't a quitter in the ring. I'm not a quitter in life, and I try to keep people around me who ain't quitters. I love the doubt sakers who's, you know, there's still people out there who don't like me because of my past, and they have every right to judge me. I always say that because I made my past, but I say at the end of my life, see what I have done, and if I have changed. It's like looking at your record, at the end of your pro record, amateur record. Look at their record, see what they've done, and do they deserve that respect? The same thing when I die one day, which not going to be soon, I hope, is that when my life is over, judge me on my whole life, not just my childhood, my whole life. And do I deserve that respect?
I love that answer, by the way. That's a great answer.
Thank you.
Hey, he kept it 100. He kept it 100.
That's all I know. I always told everybody. Some people say that's Ray. Ray speaks the truth, no matter you like it or not. He speaks the truth, and that's him.
Now, I have a question to ask you.
Oh, hey, Conn. Before you get your question in, Anthony has a good question. He's saying up all the GOAT debates, what makes a fighter great?
Ask the boss.
Like I just said, what makes a fighter great is the end of his career. It's in every sport. Judge me at the end. We got a lot of people we call GOATs. And I say we can't call them GOAT until to the end of their career. Tom Brady, they'll call him a GOAT. He got 7 rings. All right, I'll give him a GOAT. You know, but let's be for real. If he doesn't go to the playoff 3 years in a row, do we call him a GOAT anymore? You know, yeah, he is, but we're judging him. What makes a great fighter is the end of his career. Let's see what he did, who he fought. Did he fight for the title? Did he? It's not the money he made; it's who he fought and when he fought them.
All right, I got to hit you now with 2 questions. Number 1, why do people say Muhammad Ali is the greatest of all time when he lost like 4 or 5 times?
I never heard anyone say why is he the greatest, because I always said he is the greatest.
You are. You do. I do. But
yeah, look what he dealt with in his life. Why does he say Jack Johnson, the first black heavyweight champion, was the greatest?
okay.
And then I say Muhammad Ali. The reason I say Jack Johnson is because in his era, he fought in front of 60, 80,000 people yelling the N-word. I'll kill you.
Yep.
And he still went out there and won. He didn't care. That was more harder than what we doing now. You know, people go into fights, and I said it today that boxing is losing its touch because we have fans who are being boxers. I work for CES, Jimmy Birchfield, and I go to other fights around the area, Reyes Boxing, Boston Boxing, and Granite Chin Boxing, and I look at these fighters in the ring, and I say, it's not the same. That these guys got no amateur background, yet they're selling more tickets than anything because they got Facebook, they got Instagram, they got all these outlooks to grab these people, and they look great. They look so amazing. But then when they get in the ring, that's what I paid to come see. And then some of these fighters like Jake Paul, I love Jake Paul. I think he's doing a great job. But let's be honest, he hasn't fought a boxer yet. He's selling seats, but he has not fought a boxer yet with no pedigree of a boxing establishment. When I was telling my wife today that when I boxed, you could look at a poster when I boxed, and every fighter on there, pedigree, they had an amateur record, and everyone we fought had an amateur record. Now you look at some of these fight posters, and you've seen guys that, you know, they're bringing hundreds of fans. They're selling T-shirts. They got these videos on Facebook and Instagram and YouTube, and they look so great. Then you look at their background, and you say, they have no amateur background. You look at who they're fighting. They got no amateur background. Fighters are only fighting when they know they can definitely win.
Good point.
So everyone says, give them respect because they got in the ring. I'm like, give them respect they got in the ring. Anyone can get in the ring now. Look at our children when they play basketball and football. Everyone gets an award. If you sit by the bench, you get an award.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
When I was young, you sat bench, you got dogged on. Now they're giving awards.
That's true, man. That's very true, man. Wow.
We're making it real soft.
All right, Ray. One name you did not mention was Floyd Mayweather. And
yes, love him.
What about him?
Love him. I got nothing bad to. Only thing I got bad to say about Floyd Mayweather was his 50th win. It had to be against McGregor. That's the only thing I said.
Yeah. Good point. Good point.
That shouldn't go on your record. It's against McGregor.
Now, before I get Mike on, because Mike's way smarter than me. Before I get Mike on, tell the folks about that historic one round when you all threw the most punches ever.
Me and Vince Phillips.
Let the people know.
I forget the year. Yeah, it was me and Vince Phillips. We're both in our late 30s. So I tell people this: we weren't young. We were in our late 30s. I threw in one round, I think it was 265 punches in one round. That was round number 8. Wasn't round 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was round number 8. And what happened was I always fought big hitters, but I always had a granite chin. So I remember early in the round, he hit me with a left hook. Vince Phillips was known for a left hook. He hit me with a left hook. And the whole crowd went, ooh. And I just stomped my feet, shook my head like a box does, and I said, let's go for it. And I just kept in the middle, and I just kept throwing punches.
Go ahead, Mike.
I wanted to go back to the question that's been kind of going around is, what can be done with boxing today? I know you've mentioned the amateur side of things, and one of the things I haven't heard of in ages as far as being really noteworthy any longer is really the Golden Gloves. What happened with that particular tournament? That doesn't seem to be something that is relevant in the sport any longer. And I think that goes to your point earlier, Ray, about talking about not having an amateur record, right? Not having that foundation to really build upon, right? So is that something that can be looked upon to actually help grow the sport again?
No. Amateur boxing is still alive and well. Golden Gloves is still alive and going. Golden Gloves, we start in January. The problem there also is that in the amateur background in boxing now, you got these gyms where people, they got sub-novice now. Back in my era, it was only novice and open. Novice is anything under 10 fights, you're a novice boxer. Anything over 10 fights, you're an open fighter. 10 fights or more, your record. Now they got sub-novice. What sub-novice is, anything from under 5, you're a sub-novice. Anything under 10, you're a novice. Anything over 10, you're open. And then they have another one, elite. That's anything over 25 bouts. So there's 4 divisions. So they're giving everyone, you got these guys who are walking around, I'm a Golden Glove champion. What are you, a novice Golden Glove champion, sub-novice Golden Glove champion, open champion, or elite champion?
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, well, what does that mean? You don't even know what that means. If you're a sub-novice, that means you got into 4 fights, which means you probably fought one day and you're a champion. When I fought Golden Gloves, you had to fight first. You had to fight 4 or 5 times in the local Fall River. You had to win every day. So you fought 5 times. If you won, now after that, you go to Lowell. And that's 3 days or 2 days. 4 days, I'm sorry. That's 4 days. No, 2 days. Four different, you got East Coast, West Coast, North Coast, South Coast. You had to beat them. Then once you beat them, then you go to Nationals. Now you go to the Golden Gloves. You probably got 2 guys in 1 weight class. So they fight once and they're a champion. I tell them all the time, I fought 5 different weight classes, 5 different years, and the least amount of fights I fought that week was probably 3 times to become the New England champion. You guys fight once and you're a New England champion. It's a way of what they're doing is they're trying to get more money into boxing and amateur boxing. What they're trying to do, we put these other divisions in. Now we got more fighters coming in. We could go longer in the tournament and get the money in the door. I don't say take it away. We got to strap down on the amateur boxing now, and we should honestly start. And I said before, we should start semi-pro boxing. There's semi-pro football. There's semi-pro baseball, basketball. We need to start semi-pro boxing because it gets me upset when someone comes to me and goes, hey, I'm a boxer just like you. I go, what makes you a boxer like me? They go, well, I fought pro. Kid, I ain't sorry. I never use that word sorry to say you ain't even close to being like me. I could have beat you as an amateur.
I love it. I love it.
I want to know the person that's walking up to you and saying that. By the way, I would love to see
Very
that conversation.
Very stupid. That's what it is. Very stupid.
People do. But, you know, I laugh at it and I go, I understand what you're saying because you are a pro boxer, but you a semi-pro boxer, kid. I mean, I had 300 amateur bouts. You probably had 5 amateur bouts or 5 smokies is what they do now, and then turn pro because you got 200 fans. And all your fans are from Facebook. I had to get 200 fans by fighting 300 amateur bouts. A lot of people go, how do I get on TV? How do I get these big fights and big money? I go, just like college basketball and college football, you gotta play college, and our amateur boxing is our college. You gotta build yourself up there. Now, what I used to do, because I retired from training people now, I'm just sick of it. I used to tell my fighters, you need to have 25 amateur bouts before I turn you pro. And a lot of guys wouldn't come to me because they go, nah, I just want to turn pro. Then go to somebody else. And everyone be like, man, you're losing that money. I'm not doing this for the money. I'm doing it for the love of the sport. I can go and grab anyone and turn them pro, but I don't want to do that. You need to have 25 amateur bouts before I even think about turning you pro. I had one guy who was probably had over 20 amateur bouts and wanted to turn pro. I said, kid, you never won as an amateur. What makes you think you're going to win as a pro?
Good point.
And I wouldn't turn him
now,
pro.
Ray,
I said no.
All right, right now, you have been amiss. You have a outstanding son who is involved in the boxing game as well. Can you let the folks know about your son And also, a person who was supposed to be on the air today, but for some reason he couldn't get on, was Roger Alves. Can you say a little something about your son and Roger, please?
My son love my son. Care very dearly about my son, but I speak bluntly about anybody. He's one of those guys. Everyone keeps saying he's a great boxer, and I go, why? He hasn't won nothing. He hasn't done nothing. So I don't say he's a great boxer. Do I want him to be better than me? Yes, I do. I don't think no parent wants their child to be less than them. They want their child to be better than them. But he's one of them that, what story can I give about it? One time he thought that he should get more respect than he should. No one was giving them respect because his name is Ray Oliveira. And I looked at him and said, son, I'm Ray Oliveira. I made that name, not you. You must make your own name. So don't think just because you're Ray Oliveira, you deserve that respect. You have to earn it. So he's a good boxer. He's a good boxer. He's not a great boxer.
And how about Roger?
Love Roger. Roger was with me my amateur days up into my pro days. Roger was, I believe, every trainer or coach needs a second-hand person, and Roger was Mr. V's, not also Mr. Lima was, Louis Lima. And I graduated to Roger. I went towards him closer because I wanted to be like Roger. Roger was the guy who was dressed nice and talked nice.
Still does.
Still does. Had the rings on his fingers, and
yeah.
You know, Mr. V was hard and stern, which is what I needed. But I was also that guy that I wanted to flash. And Roger was the guy I looked at and said, I need Roger with me. So when I turned pro, I still brought Roger with me because I needed someone to be the person that understood me. You know, not just in the ring, but in life. Roger understood me. He knew I had some demons. My demons wasn't drugs or alcohol. My demons was I was an angry young man. I didn't care who they were. I would snap and just hit them. And I went to jail a couple times for spousal abuse. I was totally wrong. Shouldn't have done that. Learned my lesson. You know how they say an alcoholic is a recovering alcoholic, a drug addict is a recovering drug addict. And some people always say to me, hey, you don't abuse women no more. I said, but I'm a recovering abuser. I should still be held down like that in order for me to do right. I don't want to ever do that again. I think no matter what, I'm wrong. I paid my dues, and I'm still paying my dues. And Roger knew that about me. And Roger was the guy that, you know, he would always, you know, someone I could run to and talk to him and tell him the deep things that was bothering me.
And Ray, you know, that's kind of why I wanted you on the show, because we all make mistakes. People make mistakes. People can improve and do the right thing. And that's kind of why I really wanted you on the show to talk about your boxing greatness. But I want to also talk about the people who out there who may have done things wrong. Nobody's perfect. You know what I mean? And you are a prime example, because I watch you on Facebook. You're a prime example that you can change. And that's the real reason why I wanted you on my show.
Thank you. You know, people probably not going to think I changed to the day I die, like I say all the time. And I'm still going to continue, you know, trying to change their minds that, you know, yeah, I'm a good boxer. And if people think I'm a bad person on the outside, but I'm not that person no more. I don't want to be that person. I want everyone to forget that I was that person, because I want to show them that we all fall. It's how we pick ourselves up. And I'm going to continue picking myself up every single day.
And Mike, can you enter anything now before I go back?
Yeah, I would, just listening to Ray just now. And I want to throw this out there because I don't know if you'd be interested in doing anything. Are you doing any public speaking along those lines? Because I think that would be very impactful for kids of any age, and even larger groups than that. I think I'd be curious to understand if that would be something you'd be interested in.
I always said I wanted to. I always said I want to do something. One thing I always said, I want to speak to women, not the men, but to the women, because those women are the ones I hurt. So those are the ones I want to help. A lot of men, they want to talk to the men and tell them don't do this. No, I want to talk to the women and tell them what kind of man like me they can stay away from. And people go, there's no reason why. There is a reason why we do that. Just like there's a reason why people do drugs. There's a reason why people do liquor. There's a reason why men hurt other people. And I would love to speak to women groups. I always said I wanted to do a boxing event with all women boxing and give the proceeds to them, because I think I owe it to them to help them.
Somebody, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And Ray, you already know what I do. You already know how I do. I can make that happen if that's what you really want to do. And I'm sure my man Mike Samuel over here will also help and make that happen. Because we got one life to live. We make mistakes, but we can change. And ain't nobody perfect. I done made my mistakes, so I have the platform right now. I have the show to encourage others.
I always say I'm perfect in my eyes.
That's good. That's good. You have to.
Yes.
Because what's the alternative?
I don't know.
It's not good. But anyway, Ray, I want to thank you. I know your trainer, Roger's looking in. He couldn't get on for some reason. I don't know why or how. And I'm going to tell you how much I respect you, Ray, is because this is primarily a basketball show. You know me. I did my damn thing. But, yeah, I know.
Yes.
And I got my man, Mike Samuel. We do basketball. But I felt it was so important to do your thing and give you your roses while you're alive. So the last few minutes, Ray, here is your court. Say what you want, how you want, do you.
Well, I just want to say thank yous. Thank you for everyone who's tuned in to hear what I have to say. And that I'm still trying in life to be a better person. I'm not going to stop trying to the day I die. I was a great fighter, I believe.
Yes.
And
yeah.
I'm going to be a great person, before I die. And I just want to say thank you, and thanks to everybody who followed my career. And boxing is not dead. It's going to rise. It's only sleeping. It's going to rise back.
Now, Ray, how can people get in touch with you if they watch this, which they will? How can they get in touch with you?
My number is on Facebook. My private number. It's not even private. It's for everybody. So they can call me at 774-300-0482. I always answer the phone. My wife always gets mad because I'll get a private call and I'll still answer it. I'm one of them guys. If you call on my phone, I'm gonna answer. I don't care. I'll even call back a number I don't remember, don't recognize. So they could call me on my line. They could get in touch with me on Facebook. Just reach out and I'm there.
Mike, you got anything to add?
I don't. I'm still trying to catch my breath over the last couple of things that Ray had said.
I know.
So it was Ray. It was great meeting you and great speaking with you tonight. We should circle back to each other on that one topic about public speaking.
Yes.
So I'll reach out early part of next week. Michael and I will try to figure out something because I would love to be able to participate with that and pull something together and drive that forward. Because I do think that is an important issue that you're carrying with you. And I think for have the ability to express that, I think would be very important for a lot of people.
Thank you. I appreciate it. It means a lot to me.
Okay.
Well, you know something, Ray, you know I love you. We go back in the day. You know, me and you. But I'm glad you were able to come on my show. And I was able to present you your roses. And thank you so much for coming on my show. And I love you to death. And I want to thank everyone who's tuning in to the Sports Empire Network and the Sports Corner with the Conn Man. And if you have any questions, please feel free to call me, contact Mike Samuel or Ray Oliveira. Thank you, Ray, for coming on my show. You made my day. God bless you, bro.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Take care.